So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a common substitution found in jazz and fusion music, actually in a lot of different styles of music, and it's something called a tritone substitution. The progression that I was soloing over at the beginning was an E minor, and the 5 chord in E minor for that particular progression was an altered B chord, or B7. I'm sure you've heard that before. If you're in the key of E minor, you might hear things like so every dominant seventh will have a tritone within the chord. So I'm playing a B7, and the tritone is between the A and the D sharp notes, which are the 7th and 8th frets of strings 4 and 3, and that's this sound. Kind of an unstable sound by itself, but nonetheless in the chord it sounds fine. So if we take that tritone, we can actually find that same tritone in another dominant seventh, and that is the F7. So it is a substitute for B7. Sometimes people call it a sub 5 or a substitute 5. So let me play the E minor. Here's the B7. Now here's the E minor to F7. So those two chords are actually interchangeable, B7 and F7, since they can contain the same tritone. So what you can do is, if you're playing over that B7 or the B7 altered chord, is you can actually play a lick that is derived from F7 and then resolve it back into the B, which will lead you then to the E. So the lick that I played at the beginning of the lesson today sounds like this again. Break down the lick for you so you can see how that will work. Okay, so here's the lick broken down. So the first part of it is actually groupings of 5s, and we're playing off of an F7, which is up in the 8th fret. Again, it's a substitute for B7. So the way it will work is I'm going to play a group of 5 notes. I'm on string 1, I'm playing 11 to 8. String 2, I'm playing 10 to 8. And then I'm ending on string 3 on the root, which is F on fret 10. So that's my grouping of 5. Okay, then I'm going to do another grouping of 5 starting on string 2. That will be 10 to 8. Same thing on string 3, 10 to 8. Ending on string 4, 10th fret, which is a C, which is a 5th of the chord. So this whole phrase that we just played, the first part is. So that's our first grouping. Okay, now when we get down to that 10th fret of the D string, we will then approach the B7 chord, which we will play the major to minor 3rd, which is on the 3rd string, 7 to 8. String 4, we will play 9 to 7. Walk down chromatically on string 5, which is 9, 8, 7, 6. Slowly. So we have 2 parts. The first part is definitely out of the F chord. That's your 5. Another 5. Shift into the B7. That right there is fine for a lick, for a substitute lick. But we'll continue now. So once you get down there, we'll play the 9th fret of string number 5, 7th fret of string 4, 6th fret of string 3, 9th fret of string 3, 7th fret of string 3, ending on the major third of the B, which is 8th fret of string 3. So that climb that we just did, and that major third is right out of that B7, and that's the leading tone leading you back into the E minor chord. So from that note you can actually play E to resolve it if you would like. So the first half, the groups of 5, the B7 movements, and possibly resolving to your E. So a little faster. You can hear the resolution. So it works really well over a B7 altered chord, or the F7 or F7 altered would work just as well. One more time, a little faster. Okay, so what you've probably noticed is that most of the licks that I've played in this series are pretty quick. And the only reason is because in bebop music, you're usually playing at a fast tempo, and I can't even think of a bebop song that would be slow. It's just a really fast form. And you get just a cool effect by this barrage of notes. And some of these outside notes really will catch your ear. And the more you do them, the more you'll hear them in context and just be able to identify them. So that way you can expand your own improvisation. So definitely start off slow and try and understand harmonic content behind what you're playing. So I hope it's helped you expand your playing and your improvisation. And we'll be back soon with some more lessons.